New York Presbyterian Hospital, where Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is being cared for by doctors right now. ABC's Martha Raddatz has been tracking the latest on her condition, and Martha has the very latest. Martha, good morning.
Good morning, Elizabeth. The secretary has not been seen in public since early December after an illness, then a fall, but this is the first time she has landed in the hospital.
Probably a good idea to
On Sunday, Secretary Clinton was admitted to New York Presbyterian Hospital for treatment of a blood clot. According to the State Department, in the course of a follow-up exam, Secretary Clinton's doctors discovered a blood clot had formed stemming from the concussion she sustained several weeks ago. The 65-year-old Clinton was last seen December 7th after an overseas trip. On December 9th, the secretary canceled a trip to North Africa and the Middle East, with her spokesman saying that she was under the weather. It was later revealed that Clinton had fainted from dehydration due to a severe stomach virus and suffered a concussion. ABC News learned in addition to being on an IV drip that week, the secretary was treated by 2 teams of doctors, underwent a series of tests, and was experiencing headache and dizziness. Since that time, the State Department said that Clinton was working from her home. She notably missed her scheduled testimony on the Hill regarding the attack on the consulate in Benghazi, an absence that drew criticism from some Republicans. This is not the first time Clinton has had a blood clot. In 1998, she was hospitalized for a clot in her leg following a vigorous travel schedule while campaigning as First Lady. Clinton discussed her health and her age in a recent interview with ABC's Barbara Walters.
Is your age a concern to you?
It really isn't. I am thankfully, knock on wood, not only healthy, but have incredible stamina and energy.
She does indeed normally have incredible energy and stamina, and she was supposed to return to work this week, but this seems a very big setback, Elizabeth, and there is so much we just don't know.
So much we don't know, including, Martha, where in her body this blood clot is. That could have a big significance on how it's being treated and the seriousness of it.
You know, that's true. I asked her spokesman whether the clot is in her head or her leg. They will not say. They also said in the statement she has, quote, other issues from the concussion, but won't say what those issues are either, Elizabeth.
It's a little puzzling, the lack of information, Martha, especially given those Republican charges earlier of, quote, Benghazi flu or a diplomatic illness, when they were failing to believe that she really was as sick as she was.
True, but as you know, the Clintons are notoriously private. They just don't say much, especially about issues like this.
Just out of curiosity, Martha, have you ever dealt with something like this where there's been so little information forthcoming?
Well, I can't say I have. And over the last few weeks, I know they've come back at us and say, oh, you're making it sound too serious. But clearly there are serious things going on here. And it just raises more questions when you know so very little.
All right, Martha Raddatz, thanks so much. And we're joined now by ABC's Chief Health and Medical Editor, Dr. Richard Besser. Dr. Besser, we know that Secretary Clinton is being treated with anticoagulant drugs. Does that tell you the blood clot is not in her lungs or in her brain?
Well, you know, as we're hearing, there's so little medical information that's out there. We've been talking to a lot of neurosurgeons, and everyone agrees the most likely scenario is that she has another clot in her leg.
The deep vein thrombosis.
Yeah, that type of clot is called a deep vein thrombosis, and she'd had one before, so it puts her at risk. With the concussion and dizziness, she probably had a period of prolonged time in bed, which is a risk factor for developing a clot in your leg. And an anticoagulant would be the normal treatment for that kind of clot.
We know that this is the kind of clot that people who travel long distances on airplanes get, people who are immobile get. It can be deadly. It killed David Bloom.
Yeah, I mean, this can be very, very serious. What you worry about is that clot in your leg breaking off, traveling up into your heart and into your lungs. If that happens, your blood pressure can drop suddenly, and it can be fatal. If you put someone on an anticoagulant, it can prevent that from happening.
So bottom line, how serious is a blood clot?
Well, you know, we need to know more. If it's a blood clot in her leg, probably not serious, a few months on anticoagulants. If she had a blood clot in her head, that's a very different situation. It doesn't seem to add up, though. If you fall and hit your head and you have bleeding in your head, you wouldn't put someone on an anticoagulant for treatment. There are some rare types of clots in your brain where you would put someone on an anticoagulant. Well, you have a central vein in your head that can sometimes clot after severe head injury. You wouldn't be in the hospital, though, for 48 hours, and they said that they expect her to be in the hospital for 48 hours with that. So things are not adding up. I expect we're going to learn more information today that will help shed a light on that.
And just very quickly, this sort of nebulous other health issues that we keep hearing about, what could that be?
Well, I mean, we haven't seen her since December 7th. After a concussion, you can have trouble concentrating, you can have weakness in part of your body. We're not getting a lot of information from the Clintons here.
All right, Dr. Richard Besser, I'm sure we'll be getting more information hopefully today, and we hope that she's going to be well.
Yeah.
All right, Dick, thanks.